Levi here with Hammer Fab. We're on another cruising in the country in a 1950 Chevrolet truck that we built for Steve and Sharon. A couple of local customers of ours, really good customers. This is a beautiful truck. It's on a Roadster Shop spec chassis, coilovers all the way around. We got Dakota digital gauges, which is one of our go-tos for gauges. They look really cool. We like the RTX gauges because they kind of got a retro look. So the overall scope of this build was basically make an old-timey truck drive brand new. So if you see the outside of this truck, most people think, oh wow, that's such a cool looking old truck. So there's nothing customized on the outside of this truck at all. It's just an old truck the body has been meticulously restored to perfection. The paint job is very nice. This was our first in-house full paint job that we did at Hammer Fab. The fit and finish on this build is top notch. The reflection on the paint job is mirror quality. So most of the time on this build was spent on the paint and body work and all of the brand new components such as the chassis. It's got a Don Hardy 4.8 liter LS engine, Bowler Performance 4L60E transmission. It's got a 9-inch rear end. Customer had white wall tires on this when he brought it to us. They were 15-inch wheels. So we still went with that look. He wanted to maintain the steel wheels with the white wall look, so we upgraded to 16-inch front wheels and 17-inch rear wheels to give it a little bit of a proportional rake to it. So in my mind, if you don't get the wheel and tire fitment and the stance just right, there's no point in doing the build at all. So that's where we did a couple of little tweaks on this one to make that look just right. We're going to take this truck out in the country here for a minute, put it through its paces so you guys can see how well it drives. This truck's got 1,327 miles on it right now, so it's still a pretty fresh build. Customer brought it in for a couple of little adjustments and edits. So we're actually going to be installing some single adjustable coilovers on this, which the chassis did not come with those originally. So we're gonna put the adjustable coilovers on it so that we can tune in the ride quality even a little bit more for the customer. So this is a build where the customer wanted a really nice ride. He wanted his wife to be able to get in it, fire it up, and go anywhere they want to go. They love taking holiday pictures with the family with this truck. So they want to have it for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, graduations, all of those sorts of things. So which I think is really cool. So he's constantly sending me pictures of all of his kids in the back or whatever. So they actually use this truck. They've got, sent me pictures of it with hay bales in the back. Whatever. You can do whatever you want with it after we get done building it. So we try and build our stuff so that you can actually use it, enjoy it, drive it, and maybe not this truck, but some of our other builds, you can even pound on them a little bit, do some autocross. But this one is a cruiser. So on this build, we used Restomod air conditioning. They have a nice unit that packages well underneath the dash. We 3D printed a custom underdash bezel that's kind of an air distributing manifold. And we went for kind of a stealth look on the knobs. Just real clean and simple, not a bunch of extra garbage in here. The main thing the customer was after is that it looks like an old truck. The steering wheel looks old-timey, but it's a brand new billet steering wheel from Spark Industries. So this has the classic styling of an original 1950 Chevrolet truck. When we started this truck, it came in, had a couple of mechanical issues with the rear suspension. It was an older restoration. The customer enjoyed it a lot, like I said, doing the pictures and things, but the old suspension just wasn't holding up like it should. So actually it had an old Jaguar rear end in it originally, and the rear end literally fell out of the truck, and that's how customer got a hold of us, asked us if we could fix it. once we looked into it a little bit further, it turns out there was a lot of other issues that led to that catastrophic failure of the chassis. So we discussed it with the customer, said, hey, it's probably time for a chassis upgrade, maybe even an engine upgrade. He agreed, yeah, let's get some parts coming. So we ordered all the parts. It took several months to get the chassis and the engine. So once they finally showed up, we got him in. And originally we weren't going to do the paint and body work. That wasn't part of the plan. We were just going to try and preserve as much of the original paint job that he had. And it was okay, but under further inspection, once you start looking at every panel, there was a chip here, a ding here, a scratch there, you know, and so he wisely decided, hey, maybe it's time we paint this truck. Do you know anybody that can paint it? And at that time, we were just starting our body shop, and I said, yeah, lucky for you, we do that here at Hammer Fab. So we rolled it right into the paint shop and stripped it all the way back down. We had the cab, all the body parts sandblasted, and to my surprise, this is the only truck that I've ever had sandblasted where there was zero rust on the whole truck. Zero. That's unheard of. But thankfully, we didn't have to deal with any of the rust. We were able to blast it, primer it. We did do a custom firewall on this one, just a real basic, smooth firewall with a little bit of a hump in it. We test fit the new Don Hardy LS3 engine in the chassis with the cab on the truck to make sure it all fits. Blow it all apart again, and then body worked and painted the truck together so that we could get those really nice gaps. We did spend quite a bit of time on getting the gaps dialed in on this truck in metal. So, you know, if somebody were to see this truck right now, they'd think, man, those are beautiful gaps. I want my truck to look like that. Great, we can do that, but that's where a lot of the time is getting those dialed in bare metal. Another thing on this truck that you may notice is how nice the hood fits. There's tons of hours getting this hood to fit, because these trucks, they were never intended to be fit this good or driven the way that we drive them. They were never intended to have air conditioning. They were never intended to be a show truck, basically. So in order to do that, it takes a lot of re-engineering on our part to figure that out and to make the hood repeat itself every time it shuts, because originally they were just floppy pieces of sheet metal, so we have to beef them up, fortify them so that every time the hood shuts, that gap looks exactly the same and the panel reflection looks exactly the same. Interior on this truck is pretty plain and simple. It's just old truck inside. We did a few upgrades, so instead of a rubber mat, we did new carpet. We did make the door panels out of aluminum, and then we covered those in foam and leather. So when the customer brought us the truck, it had black vinyl inside, it had a black vinyl headliner, the seat was vinyl, and they were just kind of wore out. I remember the seat had like this bow tie embroidered into the middle of it. We talked them into doing a brand new upholstery. We did leather this time. It's still black, it's still tuck and roll. We redid the headliner in the same black leather. Smells way better than vinyl, feels way better than vinyl. And I sent the seat off to my buddy Jay once again in Colorado. He did the seat for us. And then we did the rest of it in-house at Hammer Fab. The bed floor in this truck is from Bedwood and Parts. So it's pretty much a store-bought Bedwood kit. We decided not to go the high-end custom route on the Bedwood. It's still beautiful red oak, but it's a store-bought finish, and that's what the customer wanted. He said, hey, I'm going to be using this anyways as a truck. I don't want to spend too much time on it and make it too nice. He also already had the side rails for the bed. He wanted to just refinish them and stain them, so we let the customer do that. And so it looks really cool. It's got a old-timey truck look, but it's got all the modern amenities, the creature comforts that you would want in a classic truck. So if you guys are interested in doing a build like this, check out more of our videos. We got several videos on our YouTube channel, Hammer Fab Official. Also, go follow us on Instagram at Hammer Fab. Thanks for watching.